Well, we're going to start off with the Little Mariners. They're 10 games into the season now, 6-4 overall record, and they have a really interesting stretch coming up in their season where they play their next 10 games against division rivals. They have 3 against the Oakland Athletics starting tonight. You'll be there, Christian.
Absolutely.
Then after that, they have a 4-game set against the Houston Astros, and then after that, I believe they play 3 with the Rangers. So a very crucial stretch already here in April where they meet their division rivals for the first time this season. What do you guys think is a reasonable expectation for this homestand here? How many wins should they get?
Well, I think the nice thing about that 10-game stretch is that you just mentioned 7 out of the 10 are at home. I think if you could get 2 against Oakland and 2 against, obviously I'm kind of setting the bar a little low here, 2 against Houston and 2 against Texas, that would be a successful stretch. And obviously if you could maybe sweep Oakland and Texas because they're kind of down right now, that would be even better. But I believe the Houston game will be close, or the Houston series will be close. But again, if they can get 2, that's a success.
Yeah, I'm going to tend to agree with DJ. I think that the Mariners need to take care of business against bad teams. We saw them do that the other day against the Royals. The Royals aren't very good this year.
Yes.
So they beat them 2 out of 3 times, which is great. So I'd love to see them sweep both the Athletics and the Rangers and kind of hope for a split, I guess, against Astros, best team in baseball, probably. So, I think that a sweep against Oakland, if you're to wish for a sweep, the one against Oakland is probably the more realistic.
Yeah.
And then on the road in Texas, take 2 or 3 there. If they keep playing 6 out of 10 baseball, 6-4 over 10 games for the rest of the year, they'll be in great shape. So
that'll keep you right there in contention.
Absolutely, more than in contention. That should get you in with ease.
Yeah, 96 wins, you said, right?
Turns out to be 96, 97 wins. So you take 6 of 10 all year long, you'll be in good shape, and that's where they're at right now. So
yeah, I mean they've only played like 3 or 4 series so far, but they haven't lost any series. They've won a couple, split a couple. So far, I think the expectations are reasonable to expect that they should win or at least split the series with Houston. I don't know though. The starting pitchers have been a little concerning to me. Right now they're going with a 4-man rotation, with Erasmo Ramirez being on the disabled list. 3 of the 4 starters that we have going right now have ERAs over 5. Is that concerning to you guys at all, or do you think it's just too early to look into this?
It is. It's not as concerning for me right now. Obviously, it's a stat that kind of pops out. But you said Mike Leake's only one under 5 right now, right?
Correct.
Paxton has had a good. Really, his only bad outing right now has been his first start, but the last 2 starts that he's had have been pretty good. And I mean, we've been hitting the crap out of the ball too right now. Seager has 9 RBIs, Mitch Haniger has 8 RBIs, Cano has 4, Guillermo Heredia, who's been a pleasant surprise, has 4. So we're scoring a lot of runs right now too. And I believe this weekend we get Zunino, Gamble, and Cruz all back. Maybe not this weekend, but on this homestand. So right now it's a stat to take notice at, but not really a concern for me.
I think
what do you think, Christian?
I think it is what they are, if that makes sense. So like the games they've lost big.
Mm-hmm.
8 runs to 3 or whatever the numbers are. I mean, they got smashed by San Francisco 10-1 or whatever that was. So I think that might be what they are all year long. They lose 1 10-2, and then they win 1 10-2. It's kind of just a weird, the way that they're built with the offense, like you said, DJ, being what it is, that what we could be looking at all year long, which will be fun during the regular season, but if they do get into that postseason, it will become incredibly worrisome that they can't keep teams off the scoreboard when scoring runs becomes a little bit tougher.
And that'll be a storyline to watch too, like later on in the season, more close to the trade deadline. Do they go out, if they're still playing pretty well, do they go out and try and get one more pitcher? Because we talked about it even before the season started, that they're kind of missing that 5th starter in the rotation. I know Miranda is probably going to start on Tuesday or one of those days, so he'll kind of join the rotation then. But yeah, closer to the deadline, are they going to make that move that kind of pushes them over the hump?
And I kind of worry maybe it's maybe this shouldn't be a concern, but I worry a little bit about the 4-man rotation. Do you think fatigue will set in at all? Obviously, Miranda, Rasmo Ramirez should be back soon, but if you're pitching guys on 1 day less rest than they're used to, especially when you're trying to build up to the season, do you worry that that's going to throw them off at all?
Well, the reason they've had that 4-man rotation is because of all of the built-in off days they've had throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. They haven't needed that 5th starter, even though it's only 4 guys. Because of the days off, they've had the regular rest that they would have needed if they were using a 5-man rotation. You know, in all honesty, I don't think we're going to see a very traditional style of pitching from the Mariners throughout the year. I think Wade LeBlanc and Casey Lawrence, guys who can eat innings, are on that roster for a reason. If you see Marco Gonzalez go 4 innings and get pulled after doing relatively well, like, don't be surprised. That's what they want to do anyway, right?
Yeah.
Same thing for Felix Hernandez. There's kind of that ego thing of, I think I can go, get out there and strike people out. You can't anymore. So if Felix, gives you 5 strong and then you get that guy out of there, that's fine too. I think it's going to be very unique what they do with this pitching staff because, they might not be the most talented and, philosophically, Jerry DiPoto and Scott Service want to do something a little bit out of the norm that plays to the strengths of every single one of their player, which, believe it or not, sounds crazy to the rest of the baseball world, but it is what it is. I think we'll see. We'll see what they try to do, but I think that they're going to be a little unorthodox in their approach on the mound.
I do think that if a pitcher is on, like, let's say we saw Marco Gonzalez, I believe, working to the 7th in his first start. So if they can, I think they'll take that. But yes, as you mentioned, Christian, it will be interesting to see how their approach kind of plays out through the season.
It's one of those things where, like, it's an eye test, basically.
Yeah.
If we've tight-roped our way into the 5th inning, get him out of the game.
Yeah.
He does not have what he needs to have to get people out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, Marco Gonzalez, Ariel Miranda, Rasmo Ramirez, Felix Hernandez, get him out of there.
Do you
play to win every single game, because for this team, every single game will matter.
All right, let me bounce off that a little bit, Christian. Let's say you are playing for every single game. One game, you win, you keep going, you lose, you're done. It's a wild card play-in game. Who do you start? Do you put Paxton out there? He's got the best stuff out of them. Do you put Felix out there just because he deserves to get a playoff start at some point in his career? Do you put Leak out there? He's consistent.
Go ahead, DJ.
I think you kind of go off the feel, and yes, Felix maybe would. If we had a playoff right now, I would start Paxton simply because he's been better. Now, Felix may deserve that, but right now, if he deserves it and we go out and lose the game, that's not going to propel us to the next round. So I want to win. I would rather see Paxton out there personally.
I am going to go with the answer that it doesn't matter who you throw out there because everyone is available in a one-game playoff. So if James Paxton is your guy and he has absolutely nothing in the first inning,
you pull him.
See you later. The next guy might have something better. And it's stuff. But, James Paxton, okay, you're getting roughed up. You gave up 2 walks. Next inning, you'll see Felix Hernandez. You got 13 pitchers on the roster. Use 9.
Yeah,
got to win the game.
Plus, it changes up the hitter's timing and at that point with all the different stuff that all the pitchers got. So, I like that approach.
Any final thoughts you guys want to get out there about the Mariners season so far?
I'm excited to finally be able to listen to them on the radio tonight when I'm working and delivering pizza because, like we said, the schedule has been so wonky this first week and a half or so, and I'm glad because baseball players are all about routines, right? And they're going to finally be able to get into that routine with a game every day and not have these funky off days.
Yeah, I think that will be it'll be better for the season to get into rhythm now. They don't have an off day, I believe, until like March or April, the end of the month anyway. So,
baseball on a daily basis.
Yeah,
exactly. Plus, it'll be exciting to watch. Yeah,
and I don't know. They've been what everyone thought they would be, which is like almost disappointing to a certain extent. Like, has there been a surprise really with they can't score runs or someone's the dominant pitcher on the mound? Like, no, not at all.
Did you see Taylor Motter pitch the other day?
Yeah, I did see Taylor Motter pitch. It was great. Loved it. 74, I think he was burning them things in there. Absolutely classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's no surprise what they are, and if they're able to keep playing 6 out of 10 baseball, then we'll be pretty happy with where they're at come September.
Vegas has them at pretty good odds right now too. I was talking with my boss the other day, and I think they have them as the 8th best shot to win the World Series right now.
Interesting.
So
Very interesting.
Vegas is usually pretty spot on with those.